Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. Guys, today I was talking about XRP hitting a $1 trillion valuation. Whenever I'm talking about that though, it is because I see it as something which is definitely, surely possible. And my question of today is, do you guys think XRP market cap at $1 trillion is possible? Yes or no? Comment it down below, and guys, make sure you press the like button if you are enjoying it, and make sure you also check out the Growth Masters Academy. Made this channel specifically for you guys, and I am uploading another video just right now, which is going to be, I guess, the start of everything, the basic explanation. So check it out, and let's get on with the video. So yeah, I just briefly mentioned here $1 trillion per XRP. And I wanna tell you guys to briefly imagine it right here, what that would kind of feel like and how much that would be. Because as of this point, it kind of seems impossible to a lot of people. And I can understand why, because we are at about $10-11 billion at this point, which means we would have to do times 100 to get there, which I understand. All right, I understand if you can't grasp it just quite yet, but consider just a couple of things. One, consider Amazon, consider Apple, consider Microsoft, consider any company that has more than $1 trillion in valuation, or even now, the $2 trillion companies that are getting there, right? They're getting there. And the fun thing to know about that one is, do you think 60 years ago, for example, did anybody ever guessed we would have a $1 trillion company? Or do you think 50 years ago that somebody ever thought that global wealth would be where it is at right now? Or do you think one of those guys was ever, in let's say 10 or whatever, maybe 1900, pick up something. Do you think that the world reserve currency was going to switch? Do you think they were all thinking, yeah, it's going to be switching over? No. All right. Those things, like these major changes and these major achievements, they kind of happen out of thin air when you least expect them to. The world reserve currency switching is not something people really waiting upon it and knew all about. It's mostly going to happen when most people weren't expecting it. And the thing with this $1 trillion is, it's really not that much, but even if you think so, it is just much because you're not having the right perspective just quite yet. Think about it this way. For Bitcoin, the number one cryptocurrency out there, it is just times 4. And for the crypto market, it's just about 2.5 times bigger than it is right now. Don't you think that crypto will get 2.5 times bigger, which would give $1 trillion to the whole crypto realm? Don't you think crypto will, if we think about, again, where it is at right now, what kind of percentage of the world knows about crypto? All right, maybe let's say 1% of the world knows about crypto. Maybe that's a good percentage to go for. That 1% knows about it. Out of the 1% though, how many people really have invested in that again? Again, a very, very small amount. Then consider, again, if 100% of the world would know about it, this would go times 100, theoretically speaking. Because if we get the same percentage investment. However, that's, again, of course, a little bit of a stupid thought because, never will 100% of the world know about crypto. That's one thing. But also, the percentage that people invest will go way, way, way higher as it adopts more, and it gets more mainstream. So from that perspective, thinking that Bitcoin won't go to $1 trillion, I think is a little bit crazy. I think most people in the comment section will agree with me there that times 4 for Bitcoin is not odd at all. I mean, at peak, where were we at then? I don't even know exactly how much that would be. You have to calculate the exact amount of coins to get a little bit of a sketch because it has already changed quite a lot in the last 3 years, the amount of coins outstanding. But just think for yourself a little bit. For Ethereum, it's times 20. For XRP, it is times about 100. It's times 25 for Ethereum, 23 maybe. But you get the idea. It will get there. It's not as far as you might think. I guess 100 would get XRP to about $24, which again might sound insane. I can understand with you on that one because, well, those price valuations are way, way, way high up, right? And the thing is, if we're starting to consider, what it was made for, XRP, as the world digital reserve currency, yeah, then I don't know if $24 is really a solid one, because it's a very high price. And I think everybody would be, completely stoked because it would make a lot of people very freaking rich. It would make the Ripple founders most likely the richest people on Earth. At least it could definitely do that. I don't really know if it would already anymore. If they have 5 billion coins at 24, yeah, nah, it depends. I don't know how fast this is all going to be happening. But I was just thinking about that though. Times 100 for XRP. Or if you go and look at all-time high, that's already times 15. Then it's just times another, maybe like 6 or so. If we go from all-time high, which is about $3.30 or something, $3.50. Yeah, I was just considering it, and I saw some guys in the comments saying, I was thinking at least $100 trillion or greater market cap potentially. That's again $2,400 per XRP. You can kind of hope, but I don't really know about that. I'm definitely not going to be thinking that's going to be happening. So please, if you think, consider it again, because that's a little bit crazy. It can happen, but it's I think personally a little bit too positive. Here's somebody saying, yeah, when my grandchild is my grandmother. Or a grandmother, I mean. Love the enthusiasm, though. Again, I can't really blame him for that one, because none of us know how long it's going to be taken, all right? And I'm going to be talking about some price article. No, I got some price analysis open for later today, because, well, I just want to show you briefly once more that none of us know exactly when one of these huge changes is going to occur. Even though we kind of all agree that the chance of it not happening is just way lower than the chance of it happening, and thus we're really on the right track. People still don't know when, and even I don't know when it's going to be happening. And that's why I can also not tell you for go invest or go for it or anything like that, because I don't know. It could also be that the next 2 years we're going to be low, and then afterwards we're going to spike. Right? It could also be that tomorrow is going to be the day when all prices go plus 80% and there's no going back. It could all be so. One thing I can recommend you guys to do, though, which is, again, kind of advice, is to always keep your funds safe. Buy yourself a hardware wallet, link is in the description below, or use some software. But as you guys saw with my broken computer lately, software is not always the smartest thing. Then go for something like blockchain.com or leave it on Binance if you are a risk taker. But yeah, that's just something I wanted to briefly explain, that you should be careful with your money and be careful of phishing attempts. All right, having said that, somebody else said, it sounds way too crazy. I hope for the XRP community, it at least makes half that. But who knows? $10 a coin is a bit of a stretch for the imagination. Yeah, I also think this is a very kind of diminishing thought, where it's like you're keeping yourself very close-minded, because I would always say, go for it, dream big, and kind of, what's the saying from Napoleon Hill? Think and grow rich, right? If you just kind of expect things to get there, you might go wrong. But if you kind of hope for it to get there and you're working your way towards getting more because you have some sort of hope that you're, going to get some crazy ROI off of it, you might actually get yourself way more invested over a smaller period of time. Good example here is and again, I had this discussion with my father recently, if you were to go for a strategy where you invest $100 every month, you would be pretty solid, because you'd invest a solid $1,200 a year. Maybe not that much, maybe, depending on where you are, but it's solid. If you say, I'll just invest whatever I have left, I personally think you'll always be down of that $1,200, regardless of what you do, because you'll always be like, I put, let's say you 1 month put in 300, next month you'll be, I already put 300 in the last month, let me just go for, $10 right now. And of course, with 100, you can kind of easily spare it, most people. But once you go to higher numbers, if you, for example, want to invest $500 every month, it's most likely going to turn out that if you go away from your plan, it's going to be less. How that relates to my story here is, if you kind of have in your head, okay, XRP will go to $10, all right? What would I need to again, get quote-unquote rich at that point then? You have a certain amount of XRP that you want. You're going to work for that. If you have it strong in your vision, you're going to work for it. If you have in your mind, I don't know where XRP is going to go. I don't know how rich I'll get. I don't know how many coins I want. I just want to accumulate. You'll most likely accumulate a lot less, unless you're already at your goal. So that's why I always tell people, dream, go for it, go get it, because you're most likely going to end up better anyway. I mean, for me, it is like, even if we don't go up in price that much, I'll still have saved up more money because I have invested it somewhere, which means I won't really take it out. I personally have never taken any money out of crypto because I don't want to be that pizza guy, But just consider what I've just said. All this is not financial advice. This is just from person to person and for entertainment purposes. But I think there's some very big truth behind it, though. $1 trillion is definitely possible. I think a lot of people. Okay, another question. Do you think at one point in the future there will be $100 trillion companies? I think yes. You might say, oh no, it's not possible. How though? I mean, do you think global wealth will increase by 100 at one point in the future? Of course it will. All those things grow. We have inflation all the time anyway, so every single one of those price points is going to go up higher. And the caps you have in your head are all mental caps because they're not necessarily there. Nobody can really say if there's a cap for XRP except maybe for the regulators, because if they, kind of push XRP into the ground, they might put the all-time high as a definite cap. For the rest, though, there is no cap. No cap. Moving on, Esoteric XRP has said over on Twitter, is a financial collapse imminent? And will XRP provide liquidity for a new financial system? If yes and yes, then you probably will be very wealthy. XLM, is the dollar going to collapse and will the new dollar and other CBDCs ride on XLM? If yes and yes, you'll probably be very wealthy. So it's always a very difficult one to go about with this one as well, right? I mean, I'm positive on XRP, I'm positive on XLM, but there's two questions. One, which one should you go for? And again, why? I guess that's kind of a 1-2 question. But the other one is, when exactly does something really replace a new system? Or when are all our dreams coming true when we're talking about this new financial system or the great reset and things like that? I'm not going to say that we are satisfied if XRP just takes up 1%. Definitely not going to be satisfied for that. So I'm thinking they're going for something way bigger. On a different note, though, I think XRP is going for a couple of different things. One is to help these CBDCs out. By helping to explore them, helping to create them. I think Ripple is really planning on helping with that. So they're automatically getting themselves a more integral, part of the whole process. The second one is being kind of the center of transferring money, where XRP is really the middleman of all these transactions. And I'm really pointing my fingers at the screen, but you can't see, of course. But I am pointing, so so you know that. And with that as well, if they become kind of the center of all these transactions, being the bridge, maybe they would even get themselves as digital world reserve currency, because I don't know if they're all fake. I don't think so. But Brad Garlinghouse has also said that that's why they have a huge amount of coins, to be more like one of those world reserve digital currencies. I don't know, guys. I think that might be one of the goals. David Swartz has said, it's not about getting 100%, which I agree with. I don't consider XRP to take over 100% of all transactions in this world, because that would be crazy. But getting themselves such a good percentage where the attention is on them, where the big guys would want to invest, and where, the net ODL, or ODL is going to net not increase XRP demand. Everything surrounding that, though, will increase the demand, and that's what we're going for. And with maybe, let's say, a 30% share in the transaction realm, you know how far they'd get? You know how far? And I don't know what those percentages should be, guys. Even 1%, if we're really talking about that, it's already a huge sum of money, which could already be groundbreaking to all of us and life-changing. But really, at those bigger percentages, we're looking at so much more exposure, so much discussion, so much power, that really, I think XRP has no way to be contained anymore. And it might not be in price all of a sudden at the start, It might just be at volume, where the volume will go up like crazy, because the amount of people trading it will go on and on and on. And with that, with the more power it gets, with the more use cases it gets, with the more attention it gets and all of that, people will want to hold this currency because it's the most liquid one. But again, that is just my thoughts. Ripple ODL platform and its pay ID partners wire almost 100 million XRP. Fresh data says that Ripple's ODL partner in Europe has transferred 22.7 million XRP, while Huobi, Bittrex, and custodial service BitGo have wired more than 70 million XRP. Cool to see those numbers, right? Pay ID, want to talk about that in my next video that's coming up a little bit, because it's way more important than some people are making it out to be. And also, guys, make sure you check out the Growth Masters Academy. I'm going to be publishing a video just now, so let's try to get to 100 subscribers today. All right, 7 more to go. I think we can really do it. Just check it out. I made it for you guys, nobody else. So Just check it, and I'll see you guys again in another crypto video.